Good Tuesday afternoon, everybody. January 29th, 2018. Welcome into Talking Fitchburg, Frozen style. That's right, Jeremy here, locked down, haven't left my seat because, yeah, it's frozen. So I've just been sitting here waiting for the show to restart. The only thing I could reach was a different change of a shirt. So instead of wearing green, I went black today. Yeah, see, I don't even have my shirt ready. Jeepers. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. It is really cold out there, and it's just the start of what is going to be our life for the next couple of days, and that is sub-zero temperatures. I love the term polar vortex. It's here, yes. It's something else, and in all seriousness, we're going to talk about it. You know, get out as much safety information as we can from all the players, including fire department, police department, EMS, all week long. We're here to help get that word out. And today we've got a lot of great guests. Had a lot of help from our emergency management today. We're going to get to everything cold related and how it affects you here in the city of Fitchburg. And in the digest, we're going to talk about heating. Yeah. What if your heater goes out? Did you know that? But you didn't know this one. This one's a good one. Do you know that your heater can't handle this cold weather? Have you heard that? Yeah. I've got all the answers for you as Kendall returns from All Comfort Services. He'll tell us everything you need to know here during the cold weather and heating your home. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And then in our guest segment, if we have time, I mean, this is going to be a busy day. And we're going to talk about what's coming up the month of February. Yeah, we're already almost done with January. Moving on to February here. We'll tell you what's coming up right here on Fact TV in the month of February. But first, let's turn to the headlines. And, yep, it's cold. And it continues to be cold. Here is an update from the National Weather Service, Milwaukee Sullivan. Please check back with them frequently as they'll continue to update you on everything you need to know. But it says historical cold air will affect the region this week. Temperatures will fall below zero today and will likely not raise above zero until Friday. This is especially true for the locations inland away from Lake Michigan. And tonight through Thursday morning will be the coldest periods. Low temperatures are expected to reach minus 20 to minus 35 both tonight and Wednesday night. Temperatures will struggle to even recover to the teens below zero on Wednesday for highs. Combine this with literally cold temperatures and that westerly breeze. 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts to 20 to 30 miles an hour. Guess what that means? Negative 40 to negative 55 degrees for a wind chill. This is life-threatening situation, folks, and one piece of good news is by the end of the weekend, it's like above 30, and that's like a heat wave, beyond heat wave here. So, yeah. Wind chill advisory, as you saw on the screen, lots of wind chill advisories out there. I encourage you to, again, check the National Weather Service for the most up-to-date information. We'll keep putting it out there as well on our social media here from Fact TV. All right, sticking with the cold temperatures, cold weather, safety is a must during this time. So what better way to talk about safety, both for you folks and for Fitch-Rona EMS staff? We have Jeff Doselick here, and he'll tell us how to keep safe.
Yeah, so cold weather's upon us. The polar vortex is here, and I think there's things that we need to take precautions on. So a couple things to remember. If you don't have to go out, don't go out. But we know that that's not realistic in a lot of cases. So if you're going to venture out into the cold weather, just make sure that you're prepared. So put things in your car like a shovel and a blanket, emergency kit, things that maybe you could munch on, water. You know, if you do happen to get stranded, jumper cables are really good. They recommend kitty litter in there, so if you do get stuck, to put kitty litter in there as well. And then hats and gloves and mittens and all those things that keep you warm. The biggest thing is to be prepared. And then the other thing that's really important is to make sure that somebody knows where you're going, and maybe the route that you travel, so that if you do get stuck and you don't show up somewhere, they at least know which way you've gone. And then charge your cell phone in the event that you get stuck, or even at home in the event that the power may go out because of the cold weather, that you do have a charged cell phone. Just a few safety tips. You know, we do keep a lot of blankets in the ambulance already. They put extra blankets on the cot, and we've talked with the fire department to make sure that if we do have anything that is outside, obviously that they're responding in the event of an accident. You know, they come with us anyway. And then just to make sure we get them in the ambulance as quickly as possible, turn the heat on. We do have heated normal saline, so we put those on warmers just year round. We do that. So if we do need to start an IV, the saline is warm as well. So that, you know, they take precautions just in their own right. So we've asked them to put their bunker gear in the ambulance and make sure that if they do get out on an accident that they're wearing that, not just for protection, but to stay warm as well. And then, you know, we don't spend a lot of time washing the ambulance, unfortunately, when it's this cold, because then the doors seem to freeze up. We have other mechanical issues. So we ask them just to take precautions to stay in if they need to stay in. If they're going to run out, to do it quickly and come back. And then if we are out in the elements, you know, picking up patients, to do it quickly and make sure that we have enough help.
Yeah, they do try to dress warm and to be warm if they are responding, and yeah, just give them plenty of time, and yeah, they'll get there and take care of you. Don't worry about that. Another area and folks that'll take care of you is the Fitchburg Police Department, and they're gearing up for the cold as well.
Yeah, so obviously we're looking at what the meteorologists are describing as once-in-a-generation cold weather here over the next several days. So our staff, we've been in communication with them as always and stated, you know, making sure that they're aware of the weather that's out there, and that they're dressing appropriately and taking the conditions seriously, encouraging them to dress in layers. We've actually authorized them to wear non-traditional weather gear if they so choose, that may aid them in keeping warmer. Things like, you know, face coverings or scarves or different types of hats and jackets than they might normally be approved to wear. We've also went out and bought a bunch of hand warmers. So we're issuing a bunch of those out. Basically, there's a big bucket of them, so staff can grab those as necessary. And then, you know, more importantly, we're adding additional staff in over the next several days, so that if we do have a situation that requires our staff to be outside, we have additional personnel that will hopefully be available that can really minimize the amount of time that somebody's spending outside, and they can do some rotation and things like that. And plus, by adding additional staff, much like we've seen this morning with slippery roads, it does help us continue to have a good prompt response to most situations, you know, obviously call volume permitting. In addition to the staffing and the educational items for our officers, you know, we don't have the ability to shelter all of our vehicles from the weather, our fleet vehicles, so we made sure that we had an adequate supply of jumper cables, and in fact, one set will always be out on the road in the supervisor's car, and we've got our jump packs all charged up, so we're hopefully we won't have any emergency issues where we need to respond quickly with a whole fleet of vehicles, but if we do, we are at least hopefully minimizing any downtime from dead batteries and those sorts of things. And then we've also reached out to emergency management to get a list of shelters or warming centers in the area, so that if our staff does come across somebody who could be in need, whether they've had a problem with a furnace or, you know, whether they're just out in the cold weather, we can have a location to get them to ensure their safety. And then finally, we've also reached out to the senior center and asked if there was anything that we could do to assist them during the cold weather coming up, and we will begin doing some periodic checks on some of their clients over the next couple of days, probably once a day, and just check in and make sure that they're doing all right. So, and we have not restricted any of the services that we provide to our community because of the weather. And in fact, my opinion is because of the weather, we should continue to emphasize our service to the community and be caretakers. That does mean that, you know, roadway conditions or weather conditions or call volume could delay our response time, or an officer may be en route to a more serious call and not have the ability to stop. But obviously, if there are situations where they are free and available and they're passing by a car, you know, off the side of the road, we would definitely want them to take a look at that if they have the ability to do so. And the last thing we'd want to see is somebody, you know, be freezing in a vehicle, particularly in the overnight hours, as we're looking at potentially hitting 30 below here. So yeah. Well, obviously, if they're out and about, you know, which we would encourage folks only to be out and about if absolutely necessary. But if they are out and about and they have car troubles, or they're involved in a crash, or whatever the case may be, slide off the road, they should call 911 and report that, and then emergency services could be sent, depending on the severity of the situation, to help them. And if they're at home, I mean, obviously, I don't want to get into all the home maintenance things that we're all probably concerned about, but if there is a concern that they feel the police may be able to assist them with, they certainly can contact us, and if it's not something we're able to assist, we might at least be able to provide them or point them in the right direction to someone that potentially can be able to assist them. Those are some of the things we're doing. Again, once in a generation cold spell, so it does call for some definite measures to put into place, and I hope that what we've got in place will serve us and the community well over the coming days.
Yeah, they are ready to rock and roll. And again, all in the stories today is how to keep you all safe out there, and know that we can help if you need help out there. Just pick up the phone, or send an email, whatever works for you. All right, finally here, turning our attention to freezing pipes. Talked to our utilities supervisor this morning via phone as they're gearing up for anything and everything. But he's here to give you a few safety tips regarding frozen pipes.
The city notifies the citizens at several addresses around the city that they are to run their water. They are actually notified with a letter that we post on the house that was done last Friday, having them run the water about as much as like a pencil lead, just enough to keep the water flowing. Flowing water will not freeze. The other thing would be shoveled around their water hydrants, the fire hydrants out front. And the other thing would be is if in their homes, if they have exterior walls that have plumbing, like in their kitchens and stuff, if they could just open up their cabinets, a lot of times that'll help keep the pipes from freezing. Best would be to contact the city here, and we could take a look and see if we could help track down what's going on, if it's something internal or if it's something out in their yard or in the street.
Tells me that our as far as our piping system goes, it's fairly new still, so they're not expecting any water main breaks, but that's a knock on wood scenario. Hopefully nothing happens, but if you think there is an issue, call the Public Works Department right away, and they can assist you from there.